The next Republican debate is just 2 days away, and there is little doubt that Donald Trump's controversial comments about Muslims will be a major topic of discussion. For some perspective on how the comments are affecting the race for the White House and what other topics will be on the table is Rick Mullaney here joining us on the morning show. He's the director of JU's Public Policy Institute. So we'll start off with that, his comment that he made about Muslims. Obviously, there's a lot that's gone on since the last debate, including the attacks on Paris and how people are now looking at how refugees are coming over. So the comment that he made about no Muslims, how is that affecting the race?
Well, make no mistake about it, this debate is different. It's the first Republican debate since the bombings in Paris, attacks by ISIS. It's the last Republican debate of 2015. And the conventional wisdom is that the terrorist attacks in Paris would actually help more establishment candidates like Bush. In fact, it's helped Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has continued to be Donald Trump. Unpredictable, unconventional, provocative, but his ban on Muslims is really in a different category. Very different even from the insults with McCain. He has received universal criticism, both domestically and globally, for these comments. Expect it to be center stage on Tuesday night. Donald Trump will be both figuratively and literally at the center of the stage on Tuesday night.
And for those of you who missed the comment, here's exactly what was said. Donald Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. So, of course, you know, he's always got something to say, but talk about how different. Now, we have some other front runners here. Of course, I know he's the main one that everybody is looking at right now, but you said that Cruz is doing very well. Marco Rubio is also doing very well, and some others have kind of fallen off the grid a bit. So let's talk about that, too.
If you were handicapping this race today, it really appears to be, at this time, a three-person race. Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio. There's also the possibility of a brokered convention, quite frankly. Ben Carson, since Paris, has seen his numbers drop. That evangelical vote has gone to Ted Carson, really. To Cruz. And Cruz really looks pretty strong in Iowa. But if you're looking at, Tuesday night, if you want to keep your eye on something, keep your eye on Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. Both are 44 years old. Both are first-time senators, one from Texas, one from Florida. Both are gifted speakers, and both realize that they are the most likely nominees. They'll be back, so that will be one big contact, something to keep an eye on. Another one is Chris Christie, who's shown a little bit of life in his campaign. Some polls put him in second place in New Hampshire, so a little bit of life there. Unfortunately for Governor Bush, does not show great signs of life in his campaign. Ted Cruz is on the decline. Rand Paul may not even make the debate. But the big storylines for Tuesday night will always be Donald Trump, but keep your eye on Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio.
Absolutely. So as far as some of these people who are, as you said, Bush has kind of fallen off here, should they kind of do this debate and be done at this point? I mean, what's next for them? Because there's so many of them on stage, it just is slightly overwhelming for people who are watching, and we need to kind of slim it down, right? Talk about what's next.
Well, if you're Governor Bush and you have the money he has and the organization he has and the skill he has, it's certainly no time to throw in the towel. In fact, maybe just the reverse. He can free himself up and take a lot of risk and see if he can begin to get some life in his campaign. If you're Dr. Carson, you're in decline right now, and debates aren't really your strength. But this is his opportunity to maybe stop the bleeding and try to change the trajectory. For the others, it really is a long shot, other than Chris Christie, who is showing some life. So this is beginning to coalesce, and don't forget the possibility of a brokered convention. The last time that happened was 1952 on the Democratic side, 1948 on the Republican side. Neither time did they win the general election when that happened, but that is also a possibility.
Yes, it is. Well, we appreciate your perspective, and of course, CNN is expected to announce the lineups for the debate sometime today. News4Jax will carry the debate live on air and news4jax.com.